How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to the Chronicles of Tal'Dun. We're still trying to close this this black hole. That might be the whole thing. I don't really know. But let's carry on talking with this son of a bitch right now. They're very annoying. But I kind of feel why they'd be miserable right now. Be rational. Why, oh why did you not tell me this sooner? Ilar looks momentarily confused, as if I'd asked them why they had two heads. They worked their jaw a bit before giving me a non-committal, I don't know, I guess there wasn't. They sigh. Never mind. See, when you do that, it annoys me to no end. What does? When you just stop talking to me like that, it makes me feel like you don't trust me. So how can I trust you? They blink repeatedly, rubbing the back of their shoulder. I cannot work like this. You see that, don't you? You're not stupid. They tilt their head toward me, giving an unimpressed look. You need me to do what you say, and I can only do that if I trust you, which means you have to be more forthcoming with me. It is as simple as that. I take their hands and pull them forward, turning their palms up. They have this tired look that says, I'm not going along with whatever this is, but I can't be bothered to resist. I don't mind. I'm going to make my point. You be more forthcoming with me, I grip their left wrist, and I'll trust you and do what you suggest. We work together, like partners. I put my right wrist in their open hand and squeeze. They sigh, face still blank, hands slack as wet toast. I squeeze them tighter and jostle their hand, urging them with my eyes, hoping they'd reciprocate. Reluctantly, their fingers close around my wrist. Smiling triumphantly, I shake their hand as a weird interlocking handshake. I knew you could be reasoned with. Oh, so I was the unreasonable one here. We all make mistakes. I pat them on the chest. They scoff. This is all well and good in theory, but suppose you go back to the desk and discover something new. You say you will not immediately rush back to me demanding answers? Wild speculations are not helping us be more reasonable, alright? And I'm pretty certain I will not do that. Very slowly crossing their arms and shifting their weight into one hip, they lift their brows skeptically. Wild speculations? I'm not stupid either. I might not know much, but I know I want to survive. I might even want us to get to know each other, but I will not get us both killed on a whim, especially if it's as painful an end as you say it is. It is extremely painful. I'm sure it is. I try to sound amiable. They pace in a small circle, a hand running through their hair. Let's say I believe you. Let's say I want to go along with this. I don't know what's in the book. Much of your work is jealously guarded. I certainly don't know how you'll interpret it. You weren't the most personal of people. I pinch my thumb really hard to resist the urge to interject. How can you guarantee you'll not get emotional about something and make a rash decision? Doesn't trust work both ways? Of course it does. That's why I brought the detail is this. I will tell you more, enough to help you. Help us complete the ritual, and you'll focus on finding the ritual. No getting distracted by voices and letters. Fine. Deal. They scratch their chin. You understand what this means, don't you? Yes, I know what promise means. Don't patronize me. And if you find or remember something, let me know at once. Details can be important. I can help you interpret them. Everything? What if it's something private? Eli makes a bland face and crosses their arms, then without saying anything strolls over to the tea table and casually picks up a piece of paper with the tip of two fingers and dangles it in the air. It flops sadly. They peer at me. Now, what could you tell me that's more embarrassing than your incoherent drunken ramblings here? You did not give me that. I take a step forward, and they pull the same distance back. I inhale a lungful of hot air and hiss. So this is what it has come to. Hostage taking, They smile most innocently. Tell you what, I'll not read any of your, poetry anymore if you agree to tell me if you find something. They have all the cards. I fold. Fine, but I want those poetry. They nod smartly and toss me the paper. I catch it and shove it into my pocket, throwing Ilar a murderous glare. They rub the back of their neck and grin sheepishly. Don't you feel good, now that we have an accord? I feel good. I huff. I do not feel good. You held my paper hostage, but it is better than staying at each other's throats while the Abyss Devourer wraps its slimy tentacles around us until crunch. I mime crushing something between my balled up hands. Very dramatic. I don't look impressed at all. Thank you. I have quite the vivid imagine imagery in my head. I wish you could see. No. No, thank you. I get the picture. Crunch, I whisper, maintaining eye contact. Stop it. Their left brow twitches. Clear your throat, I was wondering. Ilar rolls their eyes. What, I haven't asked you a question in... I'm counting on my fingers. At least a pipe's time. Alright, seeing as how you're going to anyway. I grin. Was it just the two of us living in this town? I tap a finger on my cheek. How big is this place? As far as I know, a dozen chambers or thereabouts. Catacombs and spire not considering. That's a lot, and catacombs. Although it seems a bit lonely for only 2 people. One can be lonely even amongst a great multitude. Hired help from the town down the hill do come for fortnightly upkeeping, fixing, cleaning and such. Oh, and who is cooking and cleaning in between? Ilar suddenly looks slightly wooden. Did I say something strange? They draw in a deep breath and hold it. I think they're turning a subtle shade of pink. Come on, what's the big mystery? Finally they sigh. I cook for you. You do? What can you cook? Oh, this and that. Not that you ever noticed. You were much more interested in gardening. Oh, is that so? What does that involve? They rub their temples, forehead puckering into many lines. You claim to be cultivating them, but it seemed more like savagely chopping off leaves and twigs whenever the mood struck you. Perhaps it's a kind of display of dominance. Always made you less distressed after. Poor plants, but better than me. They shudder. I stare at my hands with dumbfounded eyes, slightly trembling. A smirk insinuates its way onto Ilar's features. I look up and with dead straight face ask, what are plants? The smirk dies. They blink once, very slowly. Just kidding. Please go. Once again I find myself back in front of the desk, working up the nerves to open the journal. There will be pain. But if not pain, then oblivion. Pain or oblivion, why must I always choose? I crush teeth together to kill the thoughts. Now's not the time to ask why, but how? How can I get the page? The fool rushes into battle, the wise divide and conquer. Feeling open, only the gap between pages, spying the number on the corner. I then open directly to the page after where I left off. No drawing here. I loosen a painfully tight grip. Only a page of mantra verses. Even so, one of my hands prepares to shut the book at a moment's notice. The other glides over the words. At first I don't understand them all, at all. But I stay as relaxed as I can and keep my eyes on them, waiting. A rhythm gradually takes shape in my breathing. First just a faint rasping, then a low mutter. Is my mouth moving to the letters on its own? Dreadful familiarity. Meaning scratches at my scalp, but when I turn my attention to them, they disperse like skittering shadows at the edge of torchlight. So I relax again and just breathe, and they come back. I don't chase them and simply look. As I read one line after another, the chill spreads into my fingers. A feeling like icy water drips onto the back of my neck. The room begins to slow dervish about me. A voice, it's definitely a voice, singing something over and over. Vyn, Vyn, Vyn. They know my name. How do they know my name? So cold my breathing stutters. Vyn, Vyn, Vyn. The tune takes a downturn. Tiny needles of cold jab me all over. I hate you, hate you, hate you. But why? What did I ever do? The pages flutter in my shaky hands. Had to have the last say, didn't you? To leave me aghast without room to retort, without time to respond. What are you talking about? The singing drops to a haunting whistling. I hold my breath to listen, words on the edge of recognition. But you would whistle those tunes. They would make you smile. I let you have those. Quieter and quieter, I press my ear into the page. Chill radiates from it. It can't be. How could it be? How was I to know? Where would I start? I would have had to say it countless times. Say what? A shrill tone like a kettle boiling in the distance. It peaks, glides down, then shatters into a scream that splits the night in two. The sorrow of it. My heart breaks. Hairs stand, tears stream. I'm sorry. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I can't stop the tears. Please stop. Save me from... Push on. Don't give up. Screaming and pleading. What's wrong with you? Why can't you get yourself together for once? No, I'll not give up at the first sign of difficulty this time. I gave my word. Finding the spot where I stopped, I read again with shaking hand. Something under my finger pulls my attention away from the voice. A bump. Then it happens again, more insistent. I pause, wondering what it could be. It's quiet. The voice is lulled. When I turn the page over, a laugh escapes me. I stifle it with a hand. A folded paper bird is tucked within the groove. Inspect it more closely. Holding it up for closer inspection, my eyes brighten and my heart feels, for the first time since waking, a glow. Its body is teal, the blue of hopeful melancholy. Its neck, a delicate swoop. Its wings reach upward, ready to take flight, so delicate, innocent, soft as soft can be, between the world and me. Are you mine too? Do you know my story? Can you tell me who I am? Does its head bow just now? You were important to me, weren't you? I have the feeling I'm forgetting something, but what? As my hand moves over the bird's tail, a dull pink spot glows under my finger's touch. I stroke it again and the glow answers. A tingling of excitement washes over my scalp. I bring it closer, breath quickening, squinting. Lines and patterns emerge, swoops, circles, words. Eyes wide and hands jittering, I trace along the bird's every groove and edge, heart concentrated on the tips of my fingers. Twisting here, pulling there, a corner under the right wing slides out of its nook and the bird transforms into a letter. You know, normally I would cheer you up by making a joke or baking a cake, but I can't bring myself to do it this time. You failed once in a few dozen experiments, whereas the rest of us succeeded once in as many tries. Besides, what a magi's career is built upon, but a bedrock of failures. If you're still sulking, maybe this will lighten your mood. Ever yours, Ilar. P.S. I lied. Lemony crumples are in the kitchen. Huh? I looked up. Ilar? I can't believe that grump can be so encouraging. And then baking for me? As if. When I look back, the symbol on the page flickers. That's interesting. I cautiously poke it with a finger. A spark leaps up and tickles me. Oh, that's strange. It's moving through me. My arm. Now my shoulder. My head. What is Oh. A cool silence fills me. Vast space opens up within, pushing away the heat of the room. Spots of light in front of me swell and shimmer, joining together into pools, drowning out the lines, easing away edges and shapes until light is all I see. In lightness I float, breath coming through and opening atop my head, leagues wide, filling a breast that's fathoms deep. I am this lumine space. Coloured spots dance in front of me. Emerald, the green of dreams, a garden. Leaves rustle, cicadas sing. The grass is cool against my back and a soft breeze brushes my hair. The air shimmies with muffled words and snorting laughter. I look up. A face resolves into clarity. That grin. Ilar? I try to say something but realize that I can only watch. Ilar is sprawled on their back, one arm folded, cushioned for their head. I'm lounging next to them, enjoying the cool shade of a tree on a sweltering summer's day. Vyn, a sing-song voice calls me. Heat on my wrist, fingers travelling across the back of my hand, their eyes peer out from under lush eyelashes. A coy smile pulling the corner of their lips, revealing a dimple. I know what you're thinking. Don't. What? I was not thinking. I retort and try to pull my arm free, but I don't try very hard. Ilar rolls over with a grunt and lazily snakes their hand under the side of my neck. The heat of their skin and toasty air combined is unbearable. Stop that, you're cheating. Memory me wriggles pointlessly. I internally shout, what are they doing? What am I doing? Stop it. I shut my eyes and shake my head. We need to get this journal shit done. Blinding flashes. When I come to, the familiar room greets me. Who did this? That's not how you structure a narrative. It needs an introduction, a middle, and a conclusion. That was... I didn't even know what that was. And how is it supposed to cheer me up? I'm more confused than ever now. They didn't think it was important enough to mention? I folded the paper curtly several times over until it's almost a block, clenched it in a fist, and stomped back toward Ilar, teeth gnashing. You lied to me. A face of horror. Anything to say for yourself? They gulp. I stare at them. It's not... Unable to contain myself, I throw the letter at them. How do you explain that? Ilar flinches a little. The tightly folded letter bounces off their chest, landing in the limp, open hands. They look down very slowly. Don't me, look at it. Yes, they say, unfolding the paper. I tap my foot rapidly on the floor, arms crossed, waiting. Ilar's brows reach new heights yet again. The corner of their mouth twitches sporadically. They look up, perplexed. Touch the symbol. They look down, hand moving. I roll my eyes. More waiting. A distant look falls over their eyes. A few breaths later, they gasp. Well? They cover their mouth with both hands and make a strange noise. My turn to raise eyebrows. What are you doing? Their eyes seem to want to say things, but they keep making that strangling noise and shuddering slightly. Now I don't know how I'm feeling about this. At least, they loosen their posture and raise their hand apologetically at me. I know, I'm sorry. I will explain, I will. But not right now. Something is happening with the Abyss Devourer. I have to go. What? Wait, come back. And they're gone. I stomp my foot. I don't know what that was, but this is not over. Not over, comes an echo. We had a deal, I mumble. Abyss Devourer buzzes. I glare at it. Not a word out of you. Still agitated, I pace around the couch, arms crossed. Why did they not tell me we were that close? It's not like it was something bad or embarrassing, is it? Is it? I nibble my phantom knuckle. What if they have a good reason? What if it was complicated? What if it fell apart and they're still bitter about it? I sigh. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but still, now that I know something, I must know the rest. They're not getting away next time. What if it's really bad? Then maybe it's better if I don't know. Slumping onto the couch, rubbing my temples, I grimace. Magi are so complicated. Why couldn't I have woken up as a potter? Then the worst I would have to worry about is pottery. Maybe I'll do that after this. But first I must survive. Then I'll get some answers, and later I can consider my retirement. I fold the letter into a square, more gently this time, and tuck it into a sleeve. You would agree, right? Right. Rest for 50 breaths, then return to the task. Yes. 1, 2, 3. $50. Alright. Time to go. I dodge through the swirling debris and soon stand before the massive desk, corralling my thoughts. What needs to be done? Copy the sigil, find the black salt, memorize the mantra. All tasks are done by reduction. Subtract, divide, execute. Brevity is magic. Magic, brevity. My heart is racing again at the thought of touching that awful page. I should tear it out and sink it into the abyss before this is done, or else it might haunt me for the rest of my days. I imagine ripping it out and crumpling it into a ball, or maybe shredding it into tiny pieces or setting it aflame, seeing it blacken and hearing it sizzle and beg for mercy. A quiet mewing drifts down from somewhere above, breaking me out of the grim exercise. I swallow and look up slowly. From the shadows above the giant shelves behind a desk, a melon-sized black shape pokes out. My throat tightens, ready to reach for something to hit with. A pair of pointy ears raise up from the shape and I inhale sharply. It's a puffy-looking black cat. Devani, you nearly scared the waters out of me. It sniffs the air, then hops down onto the table, silent as a whisper. Reaching out a hand, I hunch toward it. It approaches me warily, sniffing, glancing around, head ducked, occasionally twitching its ears. Come, I'll not hurt you. It stops just short of my hand and gives me a flat stare. Ever so delicately, I close the gap and pat it on the head. It immediately purrs deeply and rubs its head into my hands, eyes shut in approval. My heart nearly melts. I stroke it all over, feeling its lush fur and the extravagant fuzz on its hind legs. By the Divana, is that you, Fuzzpants? Excitement vibrates through me. Fuzzpants bumps her head firmly into me and purrs. I was starting to worry about you. Where have you been all this time? Are you hurt? Do you remember me? I read about you in Ilar's letter. I scratch it behind the ear. Abyss Devourer makes a grating buzz and Fuzzpants ducks away, ears flattening, visibly agitated. She turns around and leaps atop the shelf and then looks back at me, tail swishing. Wait, where are you going? She raises one paw and jabs it twice in front of her. The gesture was so purposeful that I raise an eyebrow. She flattens her ears, swishing her tail, and then jumps down, head bumps me, and leaps up again. Huh? What's the matter? Are you looking for Ilar? Fuzzpants swishes her tail, gives a disgruntled sounding mew and pads off into the gloom. Hey, wait! And she's gone, I say, looking up with dejection. The beams and joists high above me still seem quite intact. I can't tell at all where the cat has disappeared to. She could probably go anywhere in the library from there, or even other places in the town. I wish I were a cat. I smile, recalling the softness in my hands. She's as temperamental as her human. The Fuzzpants. That Fuzzpants. Too bad. I'd have liked to bring her to Ilar. Maybe to make them behave a little nicer. Maybe they're just lonely. Then again, I might get another earful for wasting time on distractions. Hearing up again, I click my tongue. You'll be back, right? I could use a free myself. I sigh. Enough. I need to get that spell. I straighten my spine and nod toward the book. It sits on the desk defiantly. A page turns over by itself. My eyes narrow. You're taunting me, aren't you? I turn to page 58 with extremely cautious optimism. A quick darting peek at the sigil. No whispers. I resist the urge to lean in and double check. So far, so good. I pick out a pen from the holder and grab a blank sheet of paper from a stock shelf. Civil post size. Fine grain. I didn't notice these details last time. Lost memories trickling in? This is good. I can do this. I'm in my element. Performance of work. Fulfillment of duty. The confidence seems to jog something loose in my heart. Thoughts spring up, inquisitive, intelligent, foreign. I hear them like a stranger eavesdropping on myself. The whispers were the problem. Need to drown them out. Breathe through a constricted nose. Make it continuous. It makes sense, I realize. I should try that. Taking a breath, letting it fill up my abdomen, then stomach, then chest, I release a thin stream, setting it to rasp against my upper nasal cavity. The rasping is loud enough that I could imagine I'm hearing the tides. The other noises in the library all but disappear. It's working. I open the sigil and immediately begin to copy it. As my breath wanes, I hear a faint, wispy lullaby insinuate itself. No, not that. I take a quick breath and scrunch my nostrils more, forcing the rasp louder. It clashes with the whispers. Working, but not for long. My pen flies all over the paper. My chest starts to burn. The urge to gasp builds. The voice hisses louder. My hands start to shake. I'm almost there, just a little more. Squeezing the air out, chest on fire, pulse beating loudly in my ears, I finish copying and shut the book, putting the words to sleep at last. I smile despite the throbbing pain and dizziness. Yes, progress. I cannot wait to see the look on their face. I roll up the piece of paper and slide it into a pocket. Black salt, mantra. We have the dagger for the blood. I see it lying on the floor. The wet eye blinks at me. Ugh. It stays mercifully quiet at least. I'll come back for you later. 2 more pieces, and I can solve this puzzle. I tap on the journal. Don't go anywhere. I'll return soon enough. Dodging the occasional piece of debris is almost an afterthought by now. Will they approve? Why should I care? Getting the task done is its own reward, surely. Still, it's nice to be praised. Maybe they'll be in a better mood and reveal more of my past to me. That seems as likely as Abyss Devourer deciding to give up and just go back to where it... Where does the Abyss come from? Is there something under it? I should ask. No, I shouldn't. You have to keep your hopes up, right? Not this again. I stop myself just short of walking to the couch. Ugh, watch it, I mutter aloud. Where's Ilar? A soft clink. I turn around. They're not here. My nerves are on edge. Papers rustle nearby. I turn around again. Just a book gliding too close. I brush it away. You're really not here. Don't tell me they're hiding from me because I remembered things about us. I sigh, determined not to give in to the gloom. You have to cheer up someone else when you're down. Right. I start picking up papers scattered here and there, hushing them. You poor things. More letters. Are those verses? Or what Ilar called my drunken ramblings? Every waking momentary switch off track progressing to wherewithal? Things half remembered, that moment of terrible recognition of the familiar stranger, then a drunken dream one never wakes of friends close, but keep my enemies closer, until they were inside. Can't believe it. These actually are drunken ramblings. I look all around the table. How many are there? I have whispered it inside and almost said it aloud, but whenever I endeavoured to, something would interrupt me. A journal entry required editing, a specimen needed dousing, water sensors had to be refilled, a mantra for the next ritual demanded further articulation, the afternoon tea, and what does that say? Mapacho? They read these? I'll never live this down. I can still do it, you know. My intellect and the knowledge of a lifetime still fill my heart tree. The relics and mantras ready, the homunculus nearing full maturity. Nothing prevents this. No material thing. Why can I not? If only... Could these be something else, though? There's so much. Sorrow. My brows wrinkle like the whisperings in the journal. I can't suppress the feeling that something is playing a joke on me. I need to make sense of it. Why would I write something like this? If it was even me who wrote these. Maybe it's related to my lost memories. I definitely don't feel as bad as the person who wrote this. Could that be a clue? I'm startled by a soft clinking behind me. I tense up and turn. It was only a triplet of cracked glass cups swirling by. I could use a drink. Then I look at the papers again. Or maybe not. Still no sign of Ilar. I hope nothing bad happened. I wonder if I should mention these letters to him. I have a hunch they'll not be thrilled. Well, I might as well use this time to cheer myself up. I could use something nice for a change. I jumped to my feet and scanned the streams of flying objects, looking for sparks of vibrancy in the gloom. There, I hastened to spot along the stream, eyes locked onto an ambrosia paper ball above, nearly tripping over a chair. It's too high. The chair, I turn it upright, set atop and command my quarry. Come on, you. By the diverner, it seems to obey, dropping and spinning toward me. Snatching it up, I plop down onto the chair and eagerly spread it to read. I know what you're trying to do, and I dearly wish these gestures of yours could erase the words like arithmetics, affection measured against pain. But it isn't so simple, I'm sorry. Ugh, gloomy. What else is there? I might have spent a tease time here resting or talking with Ilar. Surely I could turn that into the same amount of time gathering clues, right? I peer up, move the chair to a spot with the most activity and climb up, set upon plucking anything that resembles a discarded letter. Here comes a few now. One hand on the chair for balance, I reach up with the other and snatch one in. Sanguinmar? I'm here because of you and the unique opportunity you give me. I chose then. I'm choosing now. But the choice is getting harder. I don't want to think about what had happened when I can't make that choice anymore. But I won't give up yet. I scowl. Can't I just have one that's cheerful? Another flock comes. Catch one in... Corolith? Sorry for letting you know like this, but I didn't feel like talking. I went out and will not be back until tomorrow. I won't leave you to deal with the Duke by yourself, but I need some distance and time to clear my heart. Oh, come on! One more. I can't sleep again. This worry, it won't leave me be. We've been digging for so long that we forgot why we're doing it. Worse yet, we can't see anything else besides the things that we could have done, places we could have been, yet you keep digging. I give up. This isn't working. I drag myself to the couch and slump onto it, hugging the letters. It feels empty without Ilar being around, I realise begrudgingly. Wait, they're not the only ones around here. There's Fuzzpants. Can I call her? How do I do that? I clear my throat. Come here, Pantsy Pants. Come to me. I wait a while, but nothing appears. Why am I not that surprised? Dejection sets in again. I close my eyes and lie on the couch. Light dims, sound lulls, walls press in. Just for a little while, just to freshen up. Maybe Ilar will be here when I wake. And with that, that seems like the perfect time to wrap this episode up. Interesting stuff. Although we're not getting any closer to getting rid of the black hole. Well, maybe we are, I don't know. It's slow going, but it's more about figuring out our lost memories, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.